Hi guys, this is fitting of a Discovery to TD5 or V8 snorkel, and in particular this is my 2001 TD5. There will be some modification required to get this to fit properly. That outlet there will need to be cut by about 20mm, which I do mention later in the video. So this is what comes in the box: the snorkel itself, the cap, template and some hardware. You will have to modify the template quite a lot, as some of the holes are in the wrong place and there isn't a cutout for the snorkel hole itself, so you'll have to make that yourself. This is an eBay snorkel and cost about £80. I've also got some of these hose clips, and this is for the part that goes from the snorkel to the airbox, as the factory fitting won't be watertight. So I've also got this silicone hose which will go between the two, which will hopefully make that watertight. So the first thing you're going to want to do is take the airbox out. That's just all these clips, plug and a little pipe you've got to take off. And then there's two little plastic 10mm to take off here to then remove the airbox. You might also find that removing the bonnet switch will make access easier for getting this in and out. So once they're out of the way, you just got to give it a big tug and the airbox will come out. As you can see, this is the reason why I'm doing the snorkel, is I've gone through a few air filters now where they've just got soaked. You also have to move this power steering reservoir out of the way. I've just propped it up. So I've just stuck the template on with some tape which follows the top of the wing and the edge of the wing, and then I'm just drilling some small holes of where the template shows, but this won't be 100% accurate, so I've made some small holes and then I can adjust as I need to and make the holes bigger and move them about a little bit. The kit does come with some big washers and nuts, so you don't have to be too accurate with the holes. You can make them bigger than you need, so you've got a bit of wiggle room. I didn't have any hole saws to do this, which would have been handy, but I decided just to go for it and try and make the corners as round as possible with the grinder. This isn't my daily car, this is an off-roader, so I'm not too worried about how it looks underneath, as this won't even be seen anyway. I started off by doing a rough cut of where I thought it was, and then as I needed to, made it bigger and bigger in the directions which I needed to go. So this is just a rough mock-up without the studs in, and as you can see it's poking out quite a bit because the snorkel's hitting the inner skin, so I needed to cut that down about 20mm. And this is the bracket and where it fits. It's got that little ridge in it. I was surprised it actually did fit quite nicely, although it was really tight, so I couldn't bond the metal bit to the wing and then push the snorkel in. I had to bond the snorkel to that because there was no budging it once it was in place. To make the holes a bit bigger and move them side to side as I needed, and this is just a bit of a mock-up of what it would look like. You can see there is a bit of a gap between the inner skin, which will just need to be filled with silicone, but this is a general fitting. And this is after siliconing the snorkel to the little bracket. done both sides and made it look a little bit neat. And as I said, because that was so tight in there, I had to do it there rather than bond it to the car. And then I put some silicone on the inner skin of the wing to then push the snorkel onto that and then bond that to the inner skin and also make it watertight. Just reach up with the washers and the nuts to fit them on the studs that are already in the snorkel, and then these were 13mm, and just managed to get a spanner pretty easy on all of them. And I made sure to put quite a bit of silicone here. This is after cleaning it all up, just made it somewhat neat and made sure it was all tight, so it's going to be all watertight. And then this is looking from the wheel arch, looking up. You can't really see where it's bonded to the wing too much, but hopefully that's all watertight. And then this is the silicone pipe with the clamps on it. That was quite hard to get on, but yeah, managed to in the end. And then just silicone in all of the holes on the airbox and also that tube to the airbox itself. It was quite tight fitting, but I thought I'd silicone it anyway just in case. And then there's this big drain on the bottom, which I've filled with silicone. And then I also went around the edge of that pipe to the airbox, again just to make sure it was 100% watertight. You obviously can't test a snorkel until it's too late, so I wanted to go over the top with the silicone just to make sure I was 100% confident with it. So then I siliconed this part, which will be silicone to the wing. I didn't want to go too heavy with the silicone here, just because once it's on you can't get rid of the excess, so I didn't want to block the hole too much. I went round with a little bead on the outside. I couldn't access all of it, but I did as much as I could just to seal it on the outside as well, and then put the 10mm plastic nuts back on and screwed the clamps down. And the last step is just to screw the bracket to the snorkel itself, push it to where it needs to be, drill the holes and then rivet those holes. Put the airbox back together and it's all done. Overall I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. There was a bit of modifying to do. If you're somewhat handy with tools, I would recommend choosing the cheaper version, because it still does the job at the end of the day. Thanks to Ben for giving me a hand. His Instagram's below. If you've got any questions, leave them in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one.
Just let me be.